Rejoice, everyone. We're back with another T.H.E Reacts to Fate. No, not this time.
I mean, technically, this is a T.H.E Reacts to Fate.
T.H.E Reacts to Emiya.
Yes. Well, no, it's more react to Rin, since I feel this is more Rin's story than anything else.
Well, this week we watched the second half for Season 2 of Unlimited Blade Works.
Episodes 14 through 24? Or 13 through 24?
Something like that.
What?
The rest of the series.
Oh, so I think it was supposed to be 13 through 24, but I definitely watched up and through 13 for the last submission. So for me, it was only 14 to 24.
Yeah.
25.
It was something like.
Plus, we watched the little OVA that's on the Blu-ray.
Yep.
Cause Knick Knack, a weeb!
Yeah, I own the Blu-rays. This was my first time watching them. It's like I didn't realize how different of an experience that was.
I did not watch the Blu-rays. I just want to clarify that. I watched the regular fucking show.
You missed out on 15 extra seconds of Koo's ass, probably.
I expect you to show me those 15 extra seconds of Koo's ass. I fully expect it. Like, if you don't, I'm going to be very disappointed. But I guess, so we'll get into ratings, and with that, we should preface this with Realm is not here, but he did watch this, and he's given it an approved.
Yeah, he and I binged it the same day at the same time all the way through. He was like, actually, like, and this is special for Realm here. Normally when Realm watches an anime, he's like half on his phone, half watching the anime. You're like, are you really watching? No. I didn't see him get on his phone much at all.
So I watched the first 3 episodes with you of this submission, and then I binged the rest yesterday. Look, school started. It was a long week.
Yes.
I was busy.
Actually, have you gotten homework yet?
Yeah, I've had some homework. Not a ton so far, but none of my classes are starting off easy. Like I think I have like a 1,500 word paper due at the end of February. It's the first of 3 for one of my classes, which isn't terrible. It's really the only homework we have. But anyways, actually, you know what? That's actually kind of on topic. Because I get to choose, I think, pretty much any topic I want about Mesopotamia to write about.
There you go.
We're not watching the Fate about Mesopotamia this time.
I mean, but technically, Gilgamesh is here.
He is a character. Yeah.
You know, him and all of his Gate of Bootylon glory.
Oh my.
So I guess before we get into any of the production value stuff, I guess we should go around ratings-wise. Vaughn, let's start with you. We'll go clockwise here.
Approved.
Okay.
I ate well on Koo's plump ass this submission. 10 out of 10. Actually, 12 out of 10. That ass was out of this world.
Unfortunately, I think Seki wanted to do notes like she did last time, but that just wasn't necessarily an option this time.
I desperately wanted to, but I did not have my notepads with me. But I did watch it recently, so I do have a lot of my thoughts in my head still.
Watching it a day before the recording will do to a bit.
Yeah.
I did. Look, do you expect me not to give it an approved? I really liked it. I think both the TV cut versions and the extended cuts are good, since I've seen both at this point. I do think that if you're a Fate fan and you haven't watched the extended cuts, I don't advocate for piracy, but maybe don't pay $200. But it's still really good. It's pretty much like I genuinely think it raised my score from a 9 to a 10 on Mal. It was so much of a difference. It's the Lord of the Rings extended edition of Fate. Just as if you're wondering how much extra content there is.
No. You don't spend the money.
25% more?
It felt that way. That was like almost like 12, 13 episodes. How long is that normally as a runtime?
Well, each of them ran pretty long to start with. Because I will say, I was watching on Crunchyroll, and some of the episodes were running up to like 27, 28 minutes.
Yeah.
And even if you account for the credits at the end, I'd say conservatively a good 24 to 25 solid minutes of actual stuff happening.
Yeah. How long would you say it takes to watch the submission fully?
It took me a hot minute, but I also went back to rewind on some of Koo's fights.
I would say it should be no more than given all the episodes, it's probably a 2.5 to 3 hour deal.
I'd say probably
No.
3.5 to 4. Look, if you figure 25 minutes an episode, 24 conservatively, right? You're only fitting 2 episodes an hour. That takes you up to 50 minutes almost. And then you can get like 10 minutes. So, I mean, you're watching about 2 1/3 episodes an hour. So if it's 12 episodes, divide that by, 2, 6, maybe
6.
5 hours.
Yeah.
It was a long submission because there wasn't, so we didn't have recap to cut at the beginning of
No.
every episode.
Nope.
While you could skip the intro song, it was actually pretty interesting, and I chose not to most of the time. And then, like I said, for the credits were actually not that long, and each episode had an over 25-minute runtime most of the time.
I'd say
Total.
just how it felt watching the extended cuts, I'm pretty sure the extended cuts for some episodes, not all of them, but some of them will bring the episode count up to like a good 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like Medea's, or that gets, we'll get into spoilers later.
Yeah. Princess of Colchis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a Fate fan, definitely go watch it. I think it does hit the Lord of the Rings thing though, or if you're a new person, the TV cut might genuinely be the best way to watch it first.
Yeah, because the extra lore is unnecessary at first.
You're gonna get the general story your first watch through.
However, so we talked about companies and producers last time, right?
Mhm.
So obviously there's been no change in season 2 as to who's producing it. It's still Studio Ufotable.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure this was the season of Unlimited Blade Works. They ended up getting tax evasion screwed over. Something about anime cafes they did during this release.
Oh.
Well, it and the OVA were still done by Ufotable. It's
Yes.
still 2015 basically. So same year, same studio, same music producer, all that sort of stuff. So there's nothing new for us to really say about that. Although I will say the music quality during like fight scenes and other stuff continued to be like top tier through the submission. Like I wasn't having any issues. And I felt like the music really caught the rising and falling and climax of the action really well throughout each episode without feeling repetitively boring. Like the same rise and climax and fall. It didn't feel like that. And the animation was stunningly detailed.
Those
Oh,
fight
yeah.
scenes.
Specifically for her, Q's ass.
Look,
And abs.
okay, you cannot deny that Ku spent like 3 episodes with either his ass or his abs in center shot, in like high definition. And oh, was it a beautiful definition. You could bounce a quarter off that ass. Like, even Sasaki Kojiro looked great too. And so did Gilgamesh. Like once again, I had that thing where it was very rare for me to like pause the video and come with like a weird face on screen. Like
Okay, sometimes that's funny though.
Yeah, but sometimes it's funny. But most of the times when I was pausing episodes and rewinding, I didn't have any issues with the paused stills of the animation itself.
I guess. How about that OPED?
Lovely.
Did it change?
There's 3 EDs technically.
Okay.
But there's the 2 extra ones are only used in 1 episode each.
Okay, but the OP stayed the same.
The
Right?
OP stayed the same across all episodes.
That's what I thought. I still like it. I think it's solid. Did the OP animation change at all?
Oh no, you mean between season 1 and 2?
Yeah.
A completely different OP.
Okay.
OP in season 1 was
that's what I
Ideal
was
White. This
wondering.
one was Brave Shine.
That's what I was wondering because it sounded different, but I didn't want to go back and listen to one of the season 1 episodes again. But the animation changed too, didn't it? The opening, the intro sequence, because Ku wasn't fighting in the first intro sequence, and you have that beautiful Ku fight.
Can I just comment that I love Fate intro sequences because they almost like without fail show fights that didn't happen in the show.
The Ku fight was so pretty, and then we didn't actually.
You don't actually see Ku
like-
and Medea.
Spoiler. Nah.
In Fate Stay Night, the original, one of the OPs is the big giant mirror match you get later on.
Jesus. Well, to be succinct, it was solid quality.
Yeah.
This maintains a lot of the quality from the first season, most of it, if not more, even more.
I'm sure we'll mention it later, but something I really like about this OP is it doesn't feel divorced from the show itself. You actually get a little bit of a reprieve from the OP in an insert song used much later in the show.
I also say they took a lot more liberty with where they put the OP at the start of the episode. Because there were a few episodes where the OP didn't play till like 4 minutes in, and then a few where it started like immediately, So there was like a fair amount of like, where is the OP even gonna play?
Yeah.
A few times. Like I distinctly remember the time that it didn't play till 4 minutes in because I was like,
I don't remember which episode that was, but I also watched the dummy long cut, and I watched it all at once. I didn't watch the OP more than a couple times this time, even though I have seen that OP a million times.
I think it was before Ku died, I think.
Okay.
I'm obviously spoilers for fucking. I'm trying not to, but it's what I remember. It happened before, so. Plus, all the servants die. It's a fucking Grail War.
Yeah. Everyone dies at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People die when they're killed.
Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right.
2 rights make it right.
Ooh, how did you actually like the Last Stardust song? That was really nice.
That was the insert song I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it was decent. I don't normally go for that sort of thing. Music isn't necessarily my forte unless it's kind of like the stellar openings that I'm used to from some shows, but solid.
Yeah, I think. Look, it's a Ufotable Fate production. Are we going to knock the production value at all of this? Okay, it's probably easier to count our problems. Did anyone have any problems?
No.
There was one scene they maybe didn't have to animate so well.
Was it the rapey bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was somehow very cathartic after it being so well animated to see what happened next. So, Oh, spoilers, there's a rapey bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross.
And kind of irrelevant to the story, more or less.
Entirely irrelevant, low-key gross, slightly disturbing, and on the whole, not important.
Yeah, we didn't need to call as much attention to it as we did in that early section.
No, but we certainly did.
Oh, yeah.
We certainly did. I gotta admit, since we touched on animation, OP, and stuff last time, and really the only thing that changed here is OP and EDM. Kind of drawing a blank on anything else to discuss right now. Might be best for us to move on.
It's a little hard because the only thing I've seen of a stark improvement here is surprisingly the fight scenes are even bigger and more animated, but it's hard to talk about the story.
I was gonna say, but also I think that's just a product of it being the final season and the climatic fights are happening now. You got to figure the fights in the first half were mostly non-climatic.
But it is commendable they kept up the quality into those fights. Not some anime can have really good fights early on, but they're the smaller scale fights. So it goes good choreography, and then later on the budget just drops because they can't do that much.
I will say I did look up some compilations of the coup fights online on YouTube, and this one person had a compilation of his original fight against Archer and then the fight in front of the church. And it took me like 7 watch throughs to find the place where he spliced the 2 fights together because it was so well done that I couldn't tell when it went from the original fight between them to the church
You would have thought it was just one fight.
It looked like just one. Like, I even went to the comments of the video and like people were commenting like, man, you found that half a second where you could just...
And it's impressive that they maintain that consistency.
Yeah, because I didn't even doubt it, not for a second, that it wasn't the same fight. I'm
sure Vorn has heard it. Have you ever heard Unlimited Blade Works' nickname even in the anime dome, but in the fandom and anime?
Obviously not.
Unlimited Budget Works.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair. That's entirely fair.
So yeah. I don't know. I think that's about all we have that we can mention spoiler free here.
I mean, we've already given away like 7 spoilers.
Yeah, we're really towing the line here.
We're bad at this, guys.
Also, wait, no, we can't actually say this. You can watch this, and then you can watch Fate Zero, or you can watch Fate Zero and then this.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter in my opinion.
Definitely.
Different types of shows.
Yeah.
If you get into one, you'll probably out of curiosity go back to the other one.
Yeah, especially with the hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge in the final episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, That's El Malloy. You definitely need to watch either. You definitely need to watch this or Fate Zero before El Malloy.
I don't know, man.
Mm.
Anyways, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and we're gonna see you in the spoiler section so we can gush.
Yes.
Woo!